Okay, so we're gonna start our review sheet here, and we already started. We got the number one thing you need to know for the test tomorrow is altitude of Polaris equals your latitude. You need to know that. It's on the test over and over again. It's on the lab, for those of you guys that are working on the latitude and longitude lab. It's on there a handful of times. It has been on every single regions I have graded. So for 14 years, it's been on the regions. It's something you need to just know for this class. If you know your latitude, you know how high Polaris is. If you know how high Polaris is, you know your latitude in the northern hemisphere only. All right, so that's definitely needs to show up on the review sheet. You got another one? What else you want to put on there?
In terms of time zones going west, you decrease 9 hours.
Time zones 4, 5, 15.
Okay, degrees.
Degrees, yeah.
Time zone, so we already did that when we were going over the homework, so that is absolutely something we need to put on here. Time zones are 15 degrees apart. If you go west, go back. And if you go east, go ahead. So that's just from doing our homework. Were 2 things you need to know for the test tomorrow, just by going over the homework so far. So when you're done with that, we'll go back to the homework, see if there was anything else you struggled with. So go back to the homework. Were there any others that you remember guessing on? Any others that you struggled? You're just not finished? Oh, I can put that back. Okay, that was quick. Any more, you guys? Yeah, Brennan. I couldn't hear you. What? 8. All right, so 8 has to do about Polaris too. I think people struggled with 8 because it was a lot of reading and a lot of stuff that didn't matter. But it says the dashed line on the map shows the ship's route from Long Island to Florida. As the ship travels south, the star Polaris appears lower in the sky each night. Showing a map of the eastern part of the United States, the best explanation for the observation is that Polaris. Let's read what it has to say. Does Polaris rise and set at different locations each day? Does Polaris have an elliptical orbit around Earth? Is Polaris located directly above Earth's equator, or is it located directly over the Earth's North Pole? Only one of those answers are true based on things I've said this year. Do you know which one it is? You do? Which one is it? 4. It is, and let me explain that. So on the globe, Polaris lives directly above the North Pole. It is the only star that doesn't look like it moves. And the reason it doesn't look like it moves is the same. I kind of went through this. If I line myself up perfectly, let me even just line myself perfectly with this projector. No matter where I turn, I always look straight up and the projector's right above my head. But let me look over at the clock. If I'm facing you guys, the clock right now is off to my right hand. But when I turn, now the clock's behind me. When I turn again, now the clock's to my right. Again, now it's in front of me. So it looks like the clock's moving. Now, did the clock really move? No. But so all the stars in the sky, just like the ceiling, stayed still. But because the world spins, most things look like they move, unless that one thing is located directly above the point that's spinning. So right here. So the North Star sits here, and it's always going to be in the same position. Now, if you were on this pen, if this was your body, Where is Polaris? Like, where do you look? Straight up. If I then move over here to see Polaris, do you see what's changed? So now I'm here. Now I'm standing here.
You're looking down at it.
I gotta look down a little bit. See, it's no longer straight up. When I go down even further, see how that angle's getting smaller? When I'm down at the equator, it's basically a straight line to Polaris. As you, and actually I should adjust that a little bit. As you move down the globe, how high Polaris is in the sky is going to change. Because Polaris stays still, you're the one moving. Polaris is always located directly above the North Pole. All right, what else do we struggle with? Were there no more? All right, then if you are satisfied, did you change any answers from what you submitted on Teams now? If you didn't, and you're fine with what you submitted on Teams, you can just leave that. If you changed something, why don't you turn in the paper copy? Anybody want me to come to the paper copy, make sure your name's on it? And I'll grade the paper copy and not the one on Teams, that if you changed it. Did you change any? Very good. You changed some. Very good. Anybody else? Or if you didn't submit it.
I take my two go for it.
You changed it, you're working on it. Change it.
Wow. Anthony will know about
Guys, I didn't look, hopefully you have your names on all of these. Change it. All right, so now what I want to do, I want you to grab your packet. Let's grab that review sheet. We already started the review sheet. We got two really important bullets on there. What I want to do now is I want you to look through your packet. The front page of your packet until the back page of your packet. The chapter 2-1, yep. Yep. From the front cover to the end. No, or if you have something else. No, last class we filled 11 boxes. So I want you to look from the front cover to the back page. I want you to fill in the important facts that you are going to need to know for the test tomorrow. Like, what should you know to take that test from the front cover to the back page? We did it all.
Density was last year.
Density was last unit, but we did talk about the densities of the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and the atmosphere. Those two to your review sheet. How I want this to work is when we say one, I want you to search your review sheet for that one. So if I was doing this and I said, okay, what's another one? And I had altitude of Polaris written here, but that's the one that we were talking about. I want you to go back and put a star next to it. And then make sure you have all of the information that I'm putting in the box, you have in that box too. So we already have altitude of Polaris equals your latitude, and we already have that the time zones are 15 degrees apart. And if you go west, you go back, and if you go east, you go ahead. Sean, do you want to add one to this?
Equator is located on the latitude side at 0.
Perfect. So equator is 0 degrees latitude. Perfect. So we know that it's a latitude line, and we know that it's 0 degrees. So if you had that in there, go star it. If you did not have it, yes, you need to know this off the top of your head tomorrow. So add it to one of the spare boxes on the back. Shelby, what did you include? You got it.
Let's squeeze
all that stuff.
So give them both, yes, and so did we in my last class, we had them all in the same box or, so however you have it, but go star that information. Meridian is 0 degrees longitude. Again, go star that if you have it. Brendan, what did you want to add? Yes, that's a good point too. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll just make another box. Polaris is north star. Include that. So if you don't have that, put it there. And you know what I'm gonna add to this? Where is it? It's located directly above North Pole. What else should we put on this review sheet?
That, 90 degrees south and north is the, are the poles, and that's the longest degree latitude, and then 183 longitude, international dateline is also the longest.
Yep, absolutely. 90 degrees north is the North Pole. 90 degrees south is the South Pole. And these are biggest latitude or highest latitude line. You do need to know that, and did you say the 180 line too? So I'm gonna add that in another box, 180 degrees longitude is the international dateline. And this is the highest longitude. Absolutely. What else should we include? I heard a lot from Jake and Brendan. How about the rest of it? Shelby already gave you one too, but I'll take one more from you, Shelby. Yes. Let's do all three of those as long as we're at it. So we got lithosphere, which Shelby says is the solid. I heard somebody else, hydrosphere, I don't know. Hydrosphere, what's the hydrosphere made out of? Water. What's the last one?
Atmosphere.
And then I'm just gonna add on here. Remember, you got your E ESRT page 1. So remember that those spheres are listed down here on the bottom of page 1. So Shelby, Jake, and Brennan are out for now. I want to hear from the rest, and Justin too. Renee, go ahead.
Lines are called meridians,
Yep,
and latitude lines are called parallels of latitude.
longitude lines are called meridians. Latitude are parallels. ALLES. Yes. Latitude go horizontal. Longitude are vertical. Yes, so I'm gonna let everybody finish this, and that is absolutely one that needs to go on here.
What?
Same longitude, same time. So I gotta flip mine over. I'll wait till everybody's done writing this one. Everybody good with this side so far? The next one that Mike said, same longitude, same time.
What's across international date line, date?
We could cross the internet. I'll tell you, you don't need to know that for the test. So I'm not gonna add that one, only because I wrote the test. Good to know, though. Not usually talked about on the Regents or my question. Anybody else have any more? Yeah,
The polar view of life to go full circle.
yes, let's do that. Let's draw pictures.
I agree with that.
Latitude, because this was a question, was it on the, it was lab. So if we look at it from the polar view, it will look like this. And what does it look at if we look at it from the equator?
It's like circle. Up in the equation.
Yeah, from the equator,
Straight line.
they're the parallel straight lines. So polar view, equator view. As long as we're at it, let's do the longitude view.
Looks like people try.
There you go, from the poles. So from the polar view, it looks like pizza slices. They all meet at the middle. By the way, what does it mean, polar view?
We're looking for the pole.
Yeah,
Polar.
okay, yeah, it could mean you're looking at it. It basically means if you could look at it this way. So you were looking at the poles straight on. What's the longitude look like if from the equator view, though? Are they straight up and down? They meet at the north and south pole, so one of them is straight. Everybody else is curved out a little bit. I gave away my. Last thing, how do you find Polaris in the sky? Yes, besides, so that what I'm getting at is we have the Big Dipper. These two stars point to the handle of the Little Dipper. This star is Polaris. So we got the Big Dipper, the two stars in the bucket of the Big Dipper point to the handle of the Little Dipper, and that first star is Polaris. The last thing I do want you to say is make sure you remember how to use ESRT page 14. That's the map, that's the atmosphere reference table.
You know, your surgery failed.
I can help you out.
It damaged more bones.
I am definitely not a surgeon. There's a new stapler there if you want it.
I'll let my cat.
So guys, your test is tomorrow. Please bring your computers. We're gonna record it on Teams. If nothing else, make sure you know, oh, sorry, Sonia, we're still using that. You need to know these. So it looks like I made 15 review things on this page. Some of you might have more or less, depending on how you combine them. This is what you need to know off the top of your head for tomorrow.